amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. Whenever you look my video, whenever you watch my video, share the video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Share it in your WhatsApp group so that people can get information on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria, mainly against the Biafrans, against the Duduas, against the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria. I try as much as possible to set the record straight. I don't preach hate speech. I don't speak against people. I set the record straight. The only important thing I do here is to make sure that the plight of the people remains on the front burner and the world will know the true story of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria. Remember, they will always change the narrative. The government will always try as much as possible to use the conventional media to change the narrative, but that I will not allow. In this platform, we'll set the record straight and we'll say it the way it is. Not preaching hate speech, not by talking down to anybody, but setting the record straight and bringing the information to the front burner and letting the world know the exact situation of things. Each time you watch my video, you can equally go to the comment section, put down your comment, say it the way you feel it. It's so welcome. You can criticize if you so desire, but do it constructively so that we can be able to learn from one another. That is why I'm here. And now, I'm going to share with you a very important video. I hope after watching the video from the beginning to the end, you're going to enjoy the video and you continue to stick around and be able to enjoy the rest videos that are going to be coming your way from time to time. Thank you so much for coming. Today, the video I'm going to share with you is a very important video.
You heard the minister. We're going to go into a deeper part of what the minister said. So let's get some expert views on these issues. I'm now being joined by a former director at the State Security Service, the DSS. Is now a vice president and alumni association of the National Institute of Security Studies, Mr. Mike Ejiofor. And with him is a former commissioner of police, Mr. Emmanuel Ojukwu. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
One thing will gladden one's heart, and it's the fact that when we're making progress. But when you hear the kind of warning coming from Governor Zulum, it wasn't mincing words in any sense. And perhaps let's glean from your wealth of experience and intelligence, Mr. Ejiofor. What can you deduce from Governor Zulum that is perhaps most important for the nation to take note of?
Yeah, Governor Zulum, as a matter of fact, is somebody I like to associate with because of his leadership qualities. He sees things and says them the way they are, not playing politics. The issue of ISWAP in the Sahel and even the Northeast, Chad, and is a very serious challenge. And like he said, it should not be allowed to grow. And the question is, I don't think government has even allowed it for any time to grow. But what he's emphasizing is that the need for government to take more decisive steps to bring the activities of the ISWAP under control. Recall that ISWAP, tried, unlike Boko Haram, even though they are violent, unlike Boko Haram, tries to fill the governance gap within the area, thereby winning the confidence of the locals in that place. They provide boreholes, impose taxes, and if this is allowed to continue, the likelihood of them establishing an alternative government is possible, undermining the government. So I completely associate with Governor Zulum in his call that it should not be allowed to grow.
But, and I'm going to come to the point that what happened with the American operation against the terrorists. And is there any relation, is there any correlation? Should we be happy with that kind of development if there is an attack on the global structure?
Well, this is not the first time America is attacking the structure of ISIS, or ISIL, as the case may be. Our own ISWAP is aligned with them. They have a link. And what happens up there also affects what they're doing. But their financiers may be a little different. Now, these ones feed on the ungovernable space within the Sahel. They feed on it. most of the states around us, nations around us, have a lot of issues, political issues, economic issues, and issues of migration. A lot of free arms are available in these areas within the Sahel, which are close to Nigeria. So no matter what's happening with ISIL or ISIS in Turkey, as you just mentioned, Syria, as you just mentioned, it may not have a major effect on the stability and the viability and the level of violence of ISWAP that we have that is operating close to our borders. We must pay special attention to that group, and just like the governor said, the thing is beyond, it's not something we should play with kid gloves.
With the kind of injury and perhaps the death of one of the leaders of Boko Haram that we saw, what the governor was saying here looks so much that we may have decimated Boko Haram in some ways, but ISWAP is one entity that we need to pay more attention to. Do you have the same fear that the government, the governor has, and specifically on the point that the military need to change strategy?
Yes, I don't think the military approach, the kinetic approach alone, will solve the problem. Don't also forget that ISWAP is an affiliate of ISIS, a breakaway faction of Boko Haram. So the operations of Boko Haram and ISWAP are slightly different. They try to win the confidence of the locals. So that's the point I was making earlier, that government should concentrate on the locals, make them feel that governance gap, by providing social amenities, which the ISIS at ISWAP is now providing, just like the ISIS is doing. And if they have the confidence of the locals, they undermine government, they gladly pay tax to ISWAP, and they operate freely. So the governor's concern is very, very much in line, and I think government should attach. We cannot just go with the issue of military approach. Try to see, we are going to election, and it's very difficult for us to conduct election when these people are there, having ungoverned space and taking charge of the area.
One area, for you are a security expert, perhaps you know more than a lot of us who are listening to you tonight, is a concept that we have the fighter jets that we just got from America. Fine, you said the kinetic form should not be the only way to fight these entities. But when we wonder, when you have the firepower, why don't we use it? The question is, the firepower we have, can it quell, can it tame these entities?
Well, thank God the firepower is there now, but I'm not sure it's sufficient. Firepower alone cannot deliver the dividends. You still require actionable intelligence. You still require the cooperation of all and sundry. And if the fighter jets are deployed and as they're being deployed, they must be focused. They must go to a special target, and that target must be informed by intelligence. So that intelligence aspect also has to be beefed up so that these aircrafts can operate effectively and deliver the deadly weapons.
What's your take on that, Mr.
Well, my take on that is, not until recently, that when this group, the bandits, were declared Boko terrorist group, that we've seen the deployment of the Tucana aircraft. Prior to this, we've just been hearing Nigeria acquired Tucano aircraft.
Super Tucano aircraft.
And, the reason for cutting such operations was because of human rights abuse. When the aircraft was being purchased, they were, you remember the Lee, yes.
The Lee.
Where Nigeria was accused of human rights abuses, and which led to blacklisting. And we now start to recall that the previous government had to go through the black market to buy arms. So I think Nigeria was being careful and cautious in its approach. But now that we have, they have been declared a terrorist group with this ISWAP, of course, ISWAP has always been a terrorist group. So we should redeploy. But my fear is when you deploy just like that, we're going to have a lot of collateral damage. So it should be worked in a way. You know that ISWAP, even though they're affiliated to, they operate, some of them like the bandits, you have to be very careful in assessing such situations so that if they are moving out from their own environment, they can be attacked.
But what about the use of drones? I mean,
Exactly.
which is supposed to be part of intelligence gadgets, where you are able to even mount surveillance and be able to identify your target. I think that is supposed to be the norm, isn't it? Or don't we have it?
Well, yeah, we do have, but you see, at times I sit down privately and ask myself that question. Does it mean we don't have effective drones? Go to the Northwest, for instance. You see the activities of the bandits, terrorists, I don't call them bandits. They operate freely, and I ask, before they come and kidnap hundreds with motorbike, don't we have drones to locate them? Or it has gone like the issue of the cameras that were installed in Abuja, that is not working.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm watching too much of sci-fi and too much of detective movies. We see a situation where remotely Americans carry out operations far away from their shores, and they monitor with drones and see what is happening real time, and they are able to even give command off the site, and they give command. I thought that, are we that sophisticated? So talking about sophistication, you heard what the governor said, that these guys are sophisticated, that they have the monetary power. Do we have that sophistication?
I don't know about the sophistication of our military. Nigeria is a developing country, and almost everything is developing. So also our military firepower. Issue of drones that are mostly unmanned, and there's need for collaboration with sister countries outside of Nigeria who have better equipment. I'm sure that some of these countries you mentioned, America and rest of them, they have things that are more than drones, that are hanging in space, and the drones feed them, and then they feed back to some base stations. We need to collaborate with them. When some Americans were kidnapped somewhere in the Northeast, it didn't take them days. They picked the location, use of drones, use of high-powered intelligence equipment, and they were able to get it. Nigeria needs to collaborate with these groups, even within West Africa, within the African region, and outside. Wherever you can get help to solve a problem that is choking you, you get that help, and it's legitimate. Nigeria can afford it, and I think we should go for them.
This information coming from the federal government, a lot of Nigerians have been asking, who are those financing terror? Now we know, we don't know names. We don't have the names because that is not captured in what the minister said today. He just told us that there are 96 financiers of terrorism in Nigeria, while 424 associates and supporters of the financiers have been also uncovered. I mean, we've asked the Minister of Justice to give names. How much of help would this kind of information give?
Well, it's like Mr. Juku was saying. You remember that the governor also called for support from other countries, that we should not be fighting this war alone. You know, he made that call, and I think government should also follow it. Like the example he gave, the Americans came here, operated though with our security services to neutralize those kidnappers and freed them. So why don't we go for such this? You also, in 2015, before 2015, we know had mercenaries. He also called for mercenaries.
And we still make use of mercenaries at this time?
Why not?
With the experience we had?
What experience we have? We just have to. So it's an issue we have to look at critically.
So when you talk about mercenaries, does it put a question mark on the capability of our own men?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. When they are coming, like the mercenaries, when they are coming from foreign countries, they are coming with more sophisticated. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria is that there's so much corruption. You agree with me? And before the budget is released, how much is budgeted for, how much is released. Even that one released is shortchanged somewhere along the line. You have oversight function. Before you get it, they go and buy substandard equipment. So the oversight does not even have any reason to question because they are all compromised. So that's a problem.
That information of 424 associates, 96 financiers of terror in Nigeria, how much of help with that information?
I don't know what we want to do with that. Because informing Nigerians that there are 400 and something financiers of terrorism and you have not arrested them, to finance terrorism is a criminal offense. The laws are there. Activate the legal process, get them arrested. This is not the first time governments, both federal and states, have told us they know the financiers of this and this.
Could it be a
but there's too much talk and no action.
Yeah, could there be a reason why
it is
they are trying to keep the names?
Yeah, for political reasons. Because some of their allies and colleagues are involved. So they want to hide themselves. Because it's a group, it's like a court war. And there are disaster merchants, those who benefit from disaster. And some of whom may have compromised those who are even saying they know. So there's a lot of compromise there. And
as far as you're concerned, the government should come out with the names.
We don't need to hear the names.
But could that help?
Get them arrested, prosecute them, put them behind bars. That's why they belong.
How easy
you
is that?
can't allow somebody to be
How easy is that?
So more tension on Nigerians, so more hardship, keeping us down, killing our women, killing our boys, raping people, and that you're just saying you have their names. What are you doing with the names? That's not population census.
How easy is it? I mean, if you say people are financing terror, how easy is it to prosecute them?
It's not difficult. The government has come up with the names of the financiers and the groups financing these groups, and they are in custody. So what I expect the Nigerian media, the journalists, you for instance, for a follow-up. These issues have been raised. Yes, we'll clap for government that this thing has been done. Any follow-up. After 2-3 days, we forget about. We all suffer from collective.
We've had the Attorney General of the Federation on 3 occasions on the program.
Yes.
And one of the reasons he gave is that this has to be meticulously done because there are investigations in all of this. That's a question I'm asking. You guys are the security expert, and that's the reason why I'm asking. How difficult is it to be able to get these people
out and prosecute these people to serve as deterrent? At least, if you know some of them by names, you name them and they are seen. They have brothers, they have relations, and that will serve as deterrent.
On a final note, where do we go from here? The governor sounded a note of warning, and the minister has spoken. I mean, it's coming on the same day, and we're going into an election period. From your own point of view, 30 seconds, what should we be looking at? What should the government be doing right now?
Well, that's my greatest concern now. Time is not on our side, but government must do something to stabilize the security environment before the election.
Mr. Ojukwu,
a lot more has to be done. Governor has said so, not just governor. There are others who are also privy to what he has just said. These things should be acted upon right now before they put the whole nation on fire. Now, we can't even do census because of this. Now, we may not be able to do election.
The president has said, he told the people in the Northeast that very soon you will see some very drastic action. Maybe we should expect those actions.
That's our prayer.
It gladdens my heart to hear that. I hope it works.
Mr. Mohammadu Buhari, thank you so much for coming. And Mr. Michael Jofo, it's good to hear your expert opinions on these issues. Very informed ones too and experienced ones. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Shion Kimale. Bye-bye.
We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.